to the creator, now bowing to the created. Now I can stand bolder, my heart and mind are sober. Looking to see a sign, my staff turned to a cobra. With magic they did the same, refused to fear his name. Hearts remain hard till their firstborns were slain. The knowledge you have is vain. Chakras and kundalinis, Kabbalah, tree of life, witchcraft and genies, mystery school teaching. Of course it gotta be right, you know it all. Somebody gain eternal life. Were you there when he made the earth? When he formed man's bones, only used the dirt? Were you there when he made the planets? Please tell me how he did it if you understand it. Were you there when he made the heavens? And all their array rested on the seventh. All you have is speculation and theories. Gave us basic commands, we comprehend them clearly. What's the purpose of living? What's the purpose of dying? Who do you believe when everybody is lying? How do you wait fire? Count the sands of the seas. Tell me how many stars throughout the galaxy. Some things only God knows. If questions linger in your mind till your eyes close. But here's something you can understand. Fear Yah and his commands, the duty of man. While you still have a chance, fear Yah and his commands, the duty of man. While you still have a chance, fear Yah and his commands, the duty of man.
Hallelujah. Same thing. So, all right, we're recording. We live now, family. Hallelujah. So, is it hard to hear us with that music in the background? Turn it down a little bit while we wait on whoever else may join us.
How was y'all week? Sorry about yesterday.
Not just yesterday, last week with the recording.
Oh yeah, cut out for the we have. That's why we in the office today.
Yeah.
We have so much problems with the house in there, man.
It's rough.
It is. It gives us a lot of problems.
If y'all can look at a map and see where we at on the map, we are like.
We ain't even on the map.
On some maps, you're right. We out there.
The map maker was like Wi-Fi.
Every once in a while, we see one of them Google cars come around with the little cameras on top.
Hey.
And I think on Google Earth it might be on there, but the area that we live in, although it's a community area,
it's rural.
Yeah, this area. If you guys have ever seen her Hallelujah. Literally.
But I'm saying, I know you're watching it.
It was trees. It was forest. We had to have all those trees cut down and came.
No, I said unless you were trying to watch something else. No,
whose mic is that?
That's Coach.
Shalom, Koti.
Shalom.
How you doing today? Okay, she got
all right, I'm doing good.
Hallelujah. But yeah, we had to have the trees cut down and everything. And it's beautiful as far as, the peace and the quiet. Every once in a while you got to deal with some neighbors, some nosy neighbors. Coach and Joy know about that. The neighbors just walking up,
talk, be sociable.
But for the most part, it's really peaceful. It's really quiet. But the trade-off is there's no broadband. You're not getting, fiber. You're not getting DSL even. You can get some cable, but if you want any kind of internet, you have to go satellite. And it's just what it is. We actually have 3 different internet services in order to operate here. We got the internet service for the house, which is what we use when we're in the house. We got a separate internet service in the office, same company, but a separate service so that us in the house and the children don't use all the internet and she need to work and don't have internet. And then we got a separate internet service in my office so that they don't use up all the internet service and I need internet. It's a juggling process. faster. So, like I say, we apologize if this cut off in the middle of that other recording. I think we left off on our calendars with AB 30, and we were in the middle of reading through Enoch 72 around verse 20. Last night, same thing. We ready to go live and literally couldn't get connected to Zoom. So I apologize for that. It was too late to try to break everything down and come out here last night. So we was like, so family, y'all ready to kick it back off? Y'all ready to do this thing?
Yep.
All right. Hallelujah.
All right.
So here's what I did. Since we had a little time in between last week and this week, I actually took some pictures of my Facebook camera so that I should be able to screen share since we're in her office without losing the signal. So when we go back to just looking at the actual calendar, if you guys have questions or anything, I should be able to share the screen with the actual pictures of the calendar, and I pray that'll be helpful. So we were looking at AB 30 being the last day of the first month. And as I said, as we were wrapping up last week, I was going to go ahead and read through 8 through 31 one time, just so y'all get the full understanding of what Enoch was saying. And then at the end of the months, when I have written there, Enoch 72, 8 through 31, you'll know what that reference is. So going back to Enoch 72, I'm going to pick up around verse 20. And it says, I'm picking up at on that day. It says, on that day is equalized with the night and becomes of equal length. And the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 30 mornings in the third portal, and sets in the west in the third portal. And on that day, the night becomes longer than the day, and the night becomes longer than the night, and the day shorter than the day, till the 30th morning. And the night amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that third portal and sets in the third portal in the west and returns to the east for 30 mornings, and rises in the second portal in the east, and in like manner sets in the second portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day, the night amounts to 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts. And the sun rises on that day from that second portal and sets in the west in the second portal, and returns to the east in the first portal for 1 and 30 mornings. So we're now on the third month. And sets in the first portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day, the night becomes longer and amounts to the double of the day. And the night amounts exactly to 12 parts, and the day to 6. And the sun has therewith traversed. It's interesting here because Enoch is very clear, and he agrees with the Standard 66 that it's the sun that's doing the moving, not the earth. So he says the sun has therewith traversed the divisions of his orbit and turns again on those divisions of his orbit and enters that portal 30 mornings and sets also in the west opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a 10th part, and the night has become 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east, and returns on those his divisions of his orbits for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day, the night decreases in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts, and the day to 8. And on that day, the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the third portal for 1 and 30 mornings, and sets in the west of the heaven. And on that day, the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts, and the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly, I'm reading 33 now, I went a little further, and the year is exactly as to its days, 364. And the length of the day and the length of the night and the shortness of the day and of the night arise through the course of the sun. These distinctions are made. It's making a note here saying they are separated, so they're distinct. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer and its course nightly shorter. So basically, that's all it is. Enoch gave us the breakdown of how each month goes, 30, 30, 31. We said this over and over, and the year is completed with a 360 plus 4-day count. Interestingly, when we look at a completion of a circle, it's 360 degrees, right? So again, you got 360 days, and then those 4 transitionary days that transition you into each season that complete that 364-day cycle. Coach Angela, were you raising your hand? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Coach Celeste. Or were you just talking? I thought you were raising your hand. Were you raising your hand? Okay, cool. All right. So that is what we have marked on ABID 30, which is April 14th. So let me attempt the screen share. And we're going to be picking up with April 15th. Yeah. It's already up. There we go. And there we go. You guys see that all right? Okay, good deal. So now we are here at April 15th. And as you can see, April 15th, we have 2-1. So that's how I designate that we're in the second month. We were never given any names for any other month other than ABID, according to scripture. If you want to add names to your months, that's fine. But most of the names that we see that are often used, Nisan, Teshiv, Tammuz, those are Babylonian names. Those are names of Babylonian deities. So here we have 2-1 for April 15th. That's a Friday. That's a new month. And on that new month, again, I've written Numbers 10:10, which is the scripture that tells us, blow a shofar in your new months. April 16th is a Shabbat. That's 2-2, second day of the second month. First completed Sabbath or week. We talked about that in the first part of this video, right? So a full completion of weeks is a Sabbath, or a full week.
This is important because this is how you start your count for the next feast day, which is Feast of Weeks or First Fruits.
Okay, Pentecost.
Pentecost.
When we was in the church, right? They call it Pentecost. Penta meaning 50. So this is the first completed week that we count. And the scriptural reference for that is Leviticus 23, verses 15 through 16. April 17th is the third of the second month. April 18th is the fourth. 19th is the fifth. April 20th is a Wednesday, that's the sixth. April 21st is the seventh. April 22nd is the eighth. April 29th is the Shabbat. That is the second completed Sabbath or week. That's why I have that Sabbath/week. I think I posted that's
2-9.
I think I posted in the first part of the video once I edited the word I was looking for, which is the word for week. Did you guys see that one in the replay of the video? I'll show you real quick. So when you look at the word week in your Strong's Concordance, it literally tells you that that are complete 7 days, linking it to that word Shabbat or Shabbat, is how you count a week. So anything that's partial, and that's the thing, like we're dealing with this priestly calendar. It is very important not to interrupt the 7-day cycle. You understand? So anything that interrupts that 7-day cycle is contrary to what Yah gave us in Genesis. Okay? So if we go to the word week, I'm gonna do a quick search here.
Hi, it's your phone speaking. You have a message.
Look up the word week. This is how you use your eSword if you guys have it downloaded on your computer. So here we have Genesis 29:27. Now I'm going to switch this right here. This TS 2009, if you see my cursor, that's for the scriptures translation. That's the 2009 translation. I'm going to hit that drop down tab and go to KJV plus. That's going to give me the KJV with the Strong's Concordance. Okay, so now you get the words with the concordance next to it. So that word here, right here next to week, is H7620. This is what I was looking for last week that I wasn't able to, I couldn't get it up on the screen fast enough. But you see here, Shabuah, Shabbat, or Shabuah. So again, I always say this, forget my pronunciation.
It's your phone.
Properly,
You have a
passive
message.
participle, her phone blowing up over here, H7650, a denominative of H7651, literally sevened. So to seven something or to Shabbat something is to assign a seven to it. That's a whole. That is a week. We're gonna dig a little bit deeper. 7 week. So now what I'm gonna do, this is how we use this file when we're doing our research, okay? I'm gonna click on that, right? Once I click on that, it's gonna bring it up right here in this area. So now we're able to look at those other references, right? So when it says it's properly passive participle of H7650, I wanna know, okay, well, what's 7650, right? Is it over there? Usually I can scroll over that. But it's okay. If we can't, we're gonna figure this thing out. So we're gonna go over this box and change what we have here to H76 and 50. And that's gonna give us that reference. So that reference is Shabbat, a primitive root, properly to be complete. So again, you hear us reference, remember we said we don't get into numerology, but there are numbers that have meaning in Hebrew, right? So the number 7 is known to be the number of completion.
It's to 717.
To 717, okay. So
It's to swear.
properly to be complete, to be used only as a denominative from H7651 to 71 self, as Rev said, that is to swear. So what that means is to have an agreement or a contract, right? That again, we read the Sabbath is a sign to you. In other words, that's a seal. It's a contractual agreement. I know who worship me by who keeps the Sabbath, right?
And I'm gonna feed them to the full. That's an answer. Feed to full.
Adjure, change, feed to the full.
Mm.
Hallelujah. To take an oath. Okay, so that was that one. I'm gonna go back because there was another reference I wanted to look at. Oh, I might have to go back to the search again. So I'm going back to week again. This is how we prove what we think we understand. Now we got to do our due diligence. I don't want to just go off of what I think or emotion. You know what I mean? So here we got another reference. So we looked at 7650. So now we want to look at 7651. So let's go there. 7651. Seba or Seba from H7650, which we just read, a primitive, this is key, primitive cardinal number, a cardinal number, 7, as the sacred full one. So for something to be full or complete would be 7, right? Also, 7 times, by implication, a week. So by implication, a week is a Shabbat. So by the time you get to the Sabbath, that is the completion of a week. So that's why I'm going all the way back to what we said about how we count what it said in Leviticus 23 and 15. Let's go there, since we got it up. Leviticus 23. This is very key in us all being on accord with Yah and with Yahusha and with the heavenly host. Not with us, but with them. It says, from the morrow after the Sabbath, from that day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, you shall count for yourself 7 completed. Now, I asked you, after reading what we just read, what is a completed week?
All 7 days.
Can we count from the middle of the week to the end of the week and call that a completed week? We cannot. So we start our count the following week. That's what I'm saying. I said all that to say that. Okay? So, picking up, that is, again, the 23rd of April. We've got the 9th day of the 2nd month. Okay. Sunday, 2:10 falls on April 24th. April 25th is 2:11. April 26th is 2:12. April 27th is 2:13. April 28th is 2:14. April 29th is 2:15. April 30th is the 16th day of the 2nd month and the Shabbat. It is also the 3rd completed week, as we read there on the calendar. And again, I wrote Leviticus 23, 15, and 16. Moving on to the Gregorian May. The first day of May is 2:17. The 2nd is 2:18. The 3rd is 2:19. Here's another interesting marker for us. The 4th day of May is the 20th day of the 2nd month. So that's April, so that's 2:20, okay? On that day, I wrote numbers 10, 11 through 33, and on those next 3 days, so May 5th is 2:21, May 6th is 2:22, May 7th is 2:23. On those 3 days, the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd of the 2nd month, or, depending on how you're looking at it, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th of May, I wrote 3-day journey to find rest. Oh, Torah. Thank you. Wait, there we go. So here, I wrote on those 3 days, 3 days to find rest. Day 1, 3 days to find rest. Day 2, 3 days to find rest. Day 3. What do we usually do on the Shabbat, y'all? We rest, right? Okay, hallelujah. So why do we write those scriptures there? Let's read Numbers 10, 11 through 33.
Okay.
Numbers chapter 10. I like this. I like that we got a good internet there. I can tell you that. 10. Hallelujah.
All right, you ready?
Perfect. Yes.
And it came to be on the 20th day of the 2nd new month.
Pause just for a second. So just to verify, that's why we wrote this right there on the 20th day of the 2nd month. You're going to find several things in scriptures that help you, again, test our individual calendars to see if everything lines up. Go ahead.
And it came to be on the 20th day of the 2nd new month in the 2nd year that the cloud was taken up from above the dwelling place of the witness. And the children of Israel departed, setting out from the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud dwelt on it in the wilderness of Paran. Thus they departed the first time according to the mouth of Yahuwah by the hand of Moses. And the banner of the camp of the children of Yehuda departed first according to their divisions. And over their army was Nahshon, son of Abimadab. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Issachar was Nathaniel, son of Zuar. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Zebulun was Eliab, son of Helion. And the dwelling place was taken down, and the sons of Gershon and the sons of Moriah departed bearing the dwelling place. And the banner of the camp of Reuben departed according to their divisions.
Pause for 1 second. So we're reading about them. We're reading one story about their travels through the wilderness, right? And here, the details that they're giving you helps you to understand how they traveled, how they went about. They went in a specific order every time. And what she just read in that particular verse, in verse 21, tells you who carried or who bore the burden of the carrying the dwelling place. Well, what's the dwelling place?
The tent of appointment.
The tent of appointment. What was built by them in the wilderness that the Levites communicated, or the high priest communicated with Yah. The same thing that was filled with the esteem of Yah, that they came and brought their sacrifices to. That's what they're saying. So it was their responsibility to carry it. It was another part of the tribe of Levi's family to actually break it down and to set it up. So within the family of Levi, there were several families. Certain families had different jobs. So this was a process to clean everything up, to put it away, to break it down, to set it up, to carry it. They didn't share those duties. It was a family's inheritance. Literally, that's book. It was a family's inheritance to do each one of those tasks, and they didn't cross over. So it took a little time. Okay, go ahead.
In the 25th, and the banner of the camp of Reuben departed according to their divisions. And over their army was Elister, son of Shedaiah. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Shimon was Shemael, son of Zershadiah. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Gad was Elisaph, the son of Duel. And the Kohathites departed, bearing the set-apart objects, while the dwelling place was set up before they came.
So just to confirm, so you had the one family carrying the actual dwelling place, and now this family is the ones who carried the set-apart objects that belonged in the dwelling place.
So look at the way they departed too. So it was so many of them that they couldn't all leave at once. They had to depart in families. And so they made sure that the family who wore the tent departed first, so that when they got to the place they was going, they could start setting up. So by the time the Kohathites departed, that's poetry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's wonderful. And that's order. Everything you say, y'all operate in order.
Order and decency.
Order and decency, everything, right? Okay. And the banner of the camp of the children of Ephraim departed according to their divisions. And over their army was Elishama, son of Ammihud. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Manasseh was Gamel, son of Pedaister. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Benjamin was Abidan, son of Gideon. Then the banner of the camp of the children of Dan, which formed the rear guard of all the camps, departed according to their divisions. And over their army was Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Asher was Pequel, the son of Okran. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Naphtali was Ahara, the son of Enan. Such was the order of setting out of the children of Israel according to their divisions when they departed. And Moses said to Hobab, the son of Ruel, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are setting out for the place of which Yahuwah said, I give to you. Come with us, and we shall do good to you. For Yahuwah has spoken good concerning Israel.
Pause. So on that day, on the 20th, he said, we're setting out to the place of which Yahuwah said, I'm giving to you. Okay, go ahead.
And he replied to him, I am not going, but I am going to my own land and to my relatives.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, please do not leave us, because you know how we are to camp in the wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
and you shall be our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to be, when you go with us, then it shall be that whatever good Yahuwah does to us, the same we shall do to you. So they set out from the mountain of Yahuwah on a journey of 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah went before them for the 3 days' journey to seek out a resting place for them.
Hallelujah. So now we could have just did Numbers 10 and 11 and jumped to 33, but you don't get the meat of everything that's in there. And so that 3-day journey, as you can see, you're dealing with the travel, you're dealing with the breaking down of the temple and everything that belongs in the temple. And you see that it's a process. It's not a quick thing. Then by the time you get to that journey, by the time you get to where you're going, you need the time to then set everything up, right?
So that prep day, that Friday when they got there, that's that prep day. So they would have been, trying to get everything together so they could rest, because the rules didn't even believe in traveling during the Shabbat. So
not for a certain distance.
Yeah. So
wasn't happening.
If you was going a certain distance, there was no traveling.
Yeah. So that 3 days would carry you the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd, giving you that 23rd as your Shabbat. That's the day you're going to rest on. You got there, you got set up on the 22nd. That will make the 23rd, the second day, the 23rd day of the second month, a Sabbath. 23rd of the second month. That's also going to, let me switch my screen back. I apologize. Okay. That's also going to be your 4th completed week, or your 4th completed Sabbath.
You know what I just noticed too for the first time? You know how Dan, there's yeah, and there's, so it's like everybody was leaving according to their responsibilities. So those with more responsibilities left, so they could probably be getting there by like Friday morning. Dan, I'll be honest, Dan didn't have no responsibilities.
Well, he did. He was the rear guard.
Okay, well, he was the rear guard, but like,
that's a responsibility.
I mean, I guess, but it's like, because in Revelations, Dan don't appear, the tribe of Dan don't appear in Revelations.
In the account.
In the account. So it's saying how many from each tribe going to, be saved. So like from this tribe, it's going to be 144. From this tribe, it's going to be 144.
That's true.
Dan, there's no Danites in that account. No. In that account.
What you do have in place of Dan is you have there's only one in there. You got Joseph's son there in place of that. And I don't remember if it's Ephraim over there, actually. Okay. But yeah, one of those. Okay, so on the 23rd, we got Leviticus 23, 15 through 16 again. Numbers 10, 11 to 33, confirming that 3 days journey to find rest. And I know y'all see I got something else written there. The 8th Song of the Sabbath Sacrifice. I'm holding that though. I'm holding that till we complete this, and I'm gonna come back and show those to you. Because there's some question as to, like, for the example, the reference I just gave y'all about this Sabbath that falls on the 23rd. Mm-hmm. I talked to someone before and they said I don't see that.
Well, prove it now. Prove it while it's fresh. Come on with that second witness.
But then we started in the middle instead of starting at the beginning of that. I'll give you the reference. So in the Qumran scrolls, if you guys get a copy of the Qumran scrolls, that's this. There is in 4Q, what they refer to as 4Q. Make sure I got it right. In my book, it's page 471. Write it down, but it's the eighth song of the Sabbath sacrifice. Go ahead. And it is a song containing an account of the blessings.
I'm gonna have to take something to Mama's house because there ain't nothing.
Somebody
I don't know
got,
if anything else is gonna fit in there.
y'all gotta make sure your mics are muted. Who is, I can't see who.
Huh?
Everybody mics muted?
No, it's-
Yeah, my refrigerator. Yeah, it's full.
you had the-
That's Celeste.
Oh, that's the coach of
you had the
Celeste?
correct number. Just said.
Oh,
Wait.
Exactly. Okay.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
No,
I'm
it's
so
okay.
sorry. I'm going on mute.
it's okay.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I was walking in the door Friday night listening to a Zoom study and accidentally hit the mic and was talking to my family in the middle of that Zoom study. No, I don't. I'm messing this up, so I don't want to do it in the middle. I'll do it all at once. That way I don't mess it up.
But y'all remember this, because he gonna prove this exact same Shabbat with a second witness.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So moving on to May 8th is the 24th of the second month. May 9th is the 25th. May 10th is the 26th. May 11th is the 27th. May 12th is the 28th. May 13th is the 29th of the second month, and May 14th is the 30th day of the second month. It is also the 5th completed Shabbat or week. I have written there Leviticus 23:15 through 16, because that's the reference to the completed Shabbat. And I also have written there Enoch 72:8 through 33. Why do I have that written there? I've got that written there because this is the 30th day of the second month. So because this is the 30th day of the second month, we know that that's the last day of that month. So that means the very next day, which is the 15th, is going to be the first day of the third month. So remember, I count as 30, 30, 31, and then repeat. So 3-1 I circled. Again, new month, numbers 10:10, blow the shofar in your new months. May 16th is the second. 17th is the third of the third month. 18th is the fourth. 19th is the fifth. May 20th is the sixth day of the third month. May 21st is the seventh day of the third month, also the sixth completed Sabbath or week. Leviticus 23:15 through 16 confirms. May 22nd is the 8th of the third month. May 23rd is the 9th of the third month. May 24th is the 10th of the third month. May 25th is the 11th of the third month. May 26th is the 12th of the third month. It's a lot of tongue twisting there. May 27th is the 13th of the third month. May 28th is the 14th of the third month, and the seventh completed Sabbath or week. Leviticus 23:15 through 16. Now, sundown, because we've reached the seventh completed week. Sundown of May 28th, which is the 14th, is a no work. So sundown to sundown, sundown to 28th to sundown to 29th. No servile work. Why? That's first fruits. So May 29th is the 15th day of the third month, and that is first fruits.
First fruits.
Leviticus 23:17 through 18 and through 21. So let's just say 17 through 21. Is everyone good on everyone who's in the live Zoom? Is everybody clear on the sundown to sundown, no work? Everybody good with sundown being the point that we start that no work process? Okay, good deal. All right.
And that's, y'all supposed to have a celebration on the day, y'all supposed to cook.
Okay. You got stickers?
I got
Are
stickers.
you sharing? I don't have stickers in my calendar.
Too bad.
Her calendar all festive and pretty. Mine just what y'all see on the screen. There's no frills.
You understand? Okay.
Party, huh? All
Yeah,
right.
it's a
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So remember, first fruits, you also know of first fruits as Pentecost. So you'll hear these terms. They all are speaking of this day. Okay, I got you. I'll go to 1 second. You'll also hear this referred to as Pentecost because you've counted 7 weeks, right? I got a party sticker, y'all. So you've counted 7 weeks. 7 times 7 is what, fam? 49. The very next day is the 50th day. So that's why they call it Pentecost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you hear referred to as Pentecost. You'll also hear it referred to as a wave offering. This is not the first wave offering because we had another wave offering
Coming
on the
right
8th
out of
day.
unleavened bread, yeah.
Right? So this is the second wave offering. And here's the thing, in prophecy, who was waved, right? You had Messiah waved, but then when he came in the flesh, you also had his apostles waved.
Sure did.
Those who were his first fruit.
Sure did.
They were first fruits to him, right? He's the first fruits to Yah. Those apostles was first fruits to him. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you need, that battery there. Okay, go to Latasha. What you got?
No, I was just going to ask Neil. The last 2 years, I think on the first fruits, I didn't really like cook anything. I just did. I guess as like the scripture said, because I garden, so I just took like some of the first fruits from that time that I had, and then I just like offered them back. And then I think because my son, I think he just became a teenager, so I made him like do it. But as far as like cooking, I didn't cook anything. So what would you cook on like during that time? Because I just made like a regular dinner. I didn't have any like party.
No, it's fine. I mean, that's cool too.
Yeah.
So we did the same thing as far as what we physically grew here.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, because we have children just like yourself, we this is something that we try to make an event for them so that they can have fond memories of it, and it's so that it's not a burden, right? So the Shabbat should not be a burden.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we cook. You know, we probably took a poll in the house, see what everybody wanted, and we feasted. You know what I mean? But we also before we feasted, prayed and made supplication to Yah on behalf of everything that we were about to receive. Thanked him for what we were receiving. Thanked him for that time from the end of Passover to first fruits, and try to really understand what's going on in that time. I mean, that's Rib can probably speak more eloquently as to as far as the harvest, what's going on with that first harvest versus that second harvest, and the differences between those. And then I can speak to what it means prophetically. So go ahead.
So when we did that first harvest, we really prayed on it because I'm like, in this land, I noticed, the first fruit thing he was saying to set apart the first fruits of your harvest for the priests, because this is another time that you come to Jerusalem. You bring your harvest, your first fruits, you bring that to the priests so that they can have food and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so we're not in Jerusalem and we're not bringing our first fruits to the priests.
Because we're not sure who the priests are.
We're not sure who the priests are, but we know that Messiah became the first fruits.
Exactly.
And so it was a thing in which, I kind of gave me the understanding and, like I say, pray about it and see what he give you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to steer you wrong, but from what it seemed like he gave us was that, whereas I had like a box of all my first fruits, and at the time in this land during this day, the harvest is not much. It's not anything to speak of.
We know. Think about what they're doing to the air. Think about what they're doing to the soil. Think about, it's definitely not the same.
Right, and so we just coming out the frost, so stuff just stopped freezing and stuff. So all my little fruits was real tiny and underdeveloped, and I felt real bad about, I'm like, I don't really want to give y'all these, offer up these mutated underdeveloped, not unfinished. You know, first fruit's all about completion. These fruits ain't complete. You know what I'm saying? And I felt real bad in it. And it's something we prayed about. And, you know, me and Shlomo kind of just helped me understand that, you know, they was taking the first fruits. This is one of the feasts that we got to come to Jerusalem. So they was packing up all their harvest, which they would have had, because they would have had a long, they would have been planting and sowing seeds way before us over here. You know what I'm saying? So they would have had a harvest right about this time. And, you know, they was packing all that up on their mules and stuff, and they on their camels or whatever, and they was taking that to Jerusalem for the priests. So the priests would offer up what they supposed to offer. So y'all, the rest they would put in a storehouse.
Right.
So this first fruit offering was for the priests. You know what I'm saying? So he helped me to understand that. But then he came back with, you know, and plus Messiah. You know, we learned in the scripture Messiah is the first fruits. It's first fruits to Yah, or Abiyah. So we took comfort, well, I took comfort in knowing that Abiyah knew we was going to be taking his to our land in captivity. Some of our feast days he gave to us as a remembrance. Well, all of them. He gave to us as a remembrance. So this is kind of like when we keep first fruits here in the land of our captivity, we keep it in remembrance of Messiah being a first fruit to Abiyah. If we was in our land, this will be the time where we would harvest and take this to the priest, you know, for the storehouses or whatever may have you. Okay. So this is all a practice. All these feast days and things is a practice, you know what I mean? But we would have been in Jerusalem at this time, and we would have been fellowshipping, and we would have been, you know, having some cocktails, mingling, and
okay.
You know.
Yeah, I did notice. I'm speaking about your comments now, Coach Latasha. I did notice that they had that as Passover. It's crazy because Passover fluctuates at different times
for them.
On the Gregorian calendar, and also a Coach Gilead. Yes, it is a reference to Torah as well.
He said the day of Torah. Is that the day that Moses read? He says the giving of the Torah as well, or the day that the Torah was given to us. So when Moses came down from the mountain with
is
the law,
that the Jubilees? That's possible. Yeah.
It's very possible.
Another thing is, again, so speaking prophetically, right? Looking at the prophetic aspect of it. You have the first harvest and the latter harvest, right? And I know some of my fam that's gonna watch this on YouTube and not live make a point of saying that we only see 2 seasons in the standard 66, right? I won't argue that. So you see one growing season and another growing season. That's no problem with that. Which means you have one harvest and then a second harvest, right? So that's what we're reading about in the physical. But my question then would also be, what does that relate to physically? That means you have a first harvest, spiritually. So that means you have a first harvest and then you have a latter harvest. Scripture refers to it as an ingather, right? And so I like to point out that ingathering kind of play on words in the English anyway, not necessarily the Hebrew. You could think of it as a gathering in, but you can also think of as an END, as in the last harvest, right? So think about the gathering in of the wheat, right? And the parables that Messiah speaks about, and how we have to understand it. The wheat that's being referenced to is always a reference to righteous people, righteous Israel, right? And then there's the process of sifting the wheat from the tare. And so at that ingathering, if you go to Revelations, you read about the ingathering and what it actually represents. You know, it's the sifting of the wheat from the tare, and then the gathering in of the remnants after the sifting process. So it is a commemoration. It is a memorial of the past, but it's also a help to understand what it's saying is coming in the future, right? So there's a lot of room here, family, when we start keeping this yearly, to study yearly and peel back these layers yearly to increase our understanding. Yearly, right? I'm repeating that on purpose. We don't get it all in 1 year, but through practice and repetition and prayer and request for discernment, the discerning spirit, yearly we able to peer back and see, oh, I see this, oh, I see that, oh, I see, and those things usually harmonize together. Usually they fit together, you know, if it's right and if it's righteous, you usually ain't got to force that puzzle piece to fit. You know what I mean? If it's right, it fit just perfect.
And Coach Joy, if you, Coach Gilead, if you have a scripture, a reference for that, we could go ahead and read that because that's very good. And I want to say I've heard that. I heard somebody do a lesson on that being when Moshe, it was first fruits when Moshe came down.
Yeah, that
does happen. Because if they came out of Jerusalem on the Passover, right? Mm-hmm. They did wandered in the desert for a little while, and then they camped at Mount Sinai.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so was that during first fruits? Okay. So you have
is that something we might have talked about that one first fruits? I can't remember.
Yeah, so you have
but I can't pull the scripture off the top of my head.
I want to say Ewan Merkley said something. Said that. So. Yeah. Okay.
Cole, if you got a scripture, please do post it.
That would be great.
Absolutely. Okay, so picking up. Okay. I don't have my bot is over there with my phone. I would look it up on my phone. Is my phone?
Your phone's dead.
My phone is.
She has.
That's why she left my phone.
Yeah, she has my phone.
Gotcha. All right. Picking up with the 30th of May. That is the 16th day of the third month. The 31st of May is the 17th of the third month. I have all. I want my pen back. This is a nice one. Okay. Moving on to June. Everybody good so far?
Uh-huh.
June, there we go. So Wednesday, the 18th of the third month corresponds with June 1st. June 2nd, the 19th of the third month. June 3rd, the 20th. June 4th, the 21st. 22nd is June 5th. The 23rd is June 6th. The 24th is June 7th. The 25th is June 8th. The 26th is June 9th. The 27th is June 10th. The 28th is June 11th. The 29th is June 12th. The 30th is June 13th. And now we're in the third month, right? So now we get that trend, that extra day. This is that month that has 31 days instead of 30. So the 31st of the third month corresponds with June 14th. There I have as the reference for that 31st day, Enoch 72, 8 through 32. June 15th is the first day of the fourth month. It's a new month. I have that written again here. And I also have numbers 10, 10. Blow shofar in every month. June 16th, 4-2. June 17th is the third. June 18th is the fourth. June 19th is the fifth. June 20th is the sixth. June 21st is the seventh. June 22nd is the eighth. June 23rd is the ninth. June 24th is the 10th. June 25th is the 11th. I'm trying to make sure I don't make up even saying it, but here you see on my calendar where I had to scratch something out. So that's what I'm saying, Kyle. You're going to make mistakes. Coach Gilead Nell posted on the YouTube video that she had calendars for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And she said she messed 2 of them up, but she finally got it right. That's just how it is. Yeah. Right? It's the process, you know. Mm-hmm. If I don't mess up too bad, I'll try to fix it. on my calendar, but I've definitely had to completely
Yeah.
ball the calendar up and toss it out.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure if I said it, but okay, June 24th is the 10th, June 25th is the 11th, June 26th is the 12th of the fourth month, June 27th is the 13th, 28th is the 14th, 29th is the 15th of the fourth month, June 30th, Thursday, should fall on Thursday, is the 16th day of the fourth month. So you'll see the months where we don't have feast days and stuff like that, we can kind of move through this pretty quick. July 1st. Get ready for Independence Day. From who? Okay. July 1st is 417. July 2nd is 418. July 3rd is 419. July 4th is 420. You guys are familiar with Independence Day, 1776, what the shooting the rockets into the heavens represents? You guys know what that represents? Call to the touch, say, yeah, I got you. No. Okay, good deal. Good deal.
Think about it. It sounds familiar. We heard this story before. They got up there to stop and start shooting the rockets in the heavens.
Or they call it arrows.
Yeah, they was searching for their independence then.
Okay.
They said old Nimrod had said he was gonna be ready if y'all decide to flood the earth again.
Okay.
And not only that, when he get up there, he gonna avenge
Right.
his
Humankind for flooding the earth.
yeah.
Yeah. So the shooting the rockets, they said they were shooting arrows in the heavens. You can read the detailed account of that in the book of Joshua. But then, so the independent spirit, hold on, I keep looking at that in the corner of my eye. So the independent spirit is found in Genesis, right? The independent spirit is from the Nahash, the serpent that came and said, you know, I'm here to liberate you from what he told you couldn't do. You couldn't eat from that tree? No, you can eat from that tree. He don't want you to know that if you eat from that tree, you'll be like us, because you'll be able to know good and evil as opposed to knowing just good. Now, 1776, they say is Independence Day. But y'all also know that is the date that commemorates the birth of the Bavarian Illuminati. 1776, same year. It's the birth of the Illuminati. What they record is the birth of
The enlightened ones.
The enlightened ones. The same ones that came and sought a new world to practice what they call freedom of religion. So think about that phrase, right? Freedom of religion. And I had an old white chef tell me this one time when I used to still be in the restaurant industry. He said, for me to have freedom of religion, mean I get the right to be free of religion too, right? I said, yeah, I guess you're right. Never thought about it like that. But that's what this place represents. They came here to be liberated and not to have to practice, because even in Britain, they still were holding themselves to the Bible. That was still the standard, right? The papacy, the Vatican still rule over there. They came over here to say, you can do whatever over here. That's what July 4th is about.
Those be the places that become, superpowers, like Egypt, like Rome.
Yep.
Like, pagan Rome, they didn't care what you do. Everything was welcomed in pagan Rome. You know what I'm saying? Babylon before that, the Babylon before that.
Greece.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can do whatever over here. It ain't no, look, do what thou wilt. That's the whole of the law.
Yeah, no boundaries. No boundaries. That's a new clothing line in the Walmart stores I see.
Really?
No boundaries.
Wow, you know what that means.
Okay, so that's the 4th of July. The 5th of July is 421. The 6th is 422. The 7th is 423. The 8th is 424. The 9th is 425. The 10th is 426. The 11th is 427. The 8th is 429. Oh. No. I apologize.
13th.
Yeah, 10th, 11th, 12th is 4/28. The 13th is 4/29.
Yeah.
Moving too fast. I apologize. The 14th is 4/30. Only 30 days in the fourth month. So we have Enoch 72, 8 through 32. That's our reference. The 15th is 5/1. New month, Numbers 10:10. What a year.
Really, Indigo? You busted over there.
The 16th is 5/2. The 17th is 5/3. The 18th is 5/4. The 19th is 5/5. The 20th is 5/6. The 21st is 5/7. The 22nd is 5/8. The 23rd is 5/9, and the Shabbat. The 24th is 5/10. This split day here, this has tricked me up on a couple of calendars. Because I get to here and then move on to the next thing. So anyway, the 24th is 5/10. The 25th is 5/11. The 26th is, mention something.
You're right, it's really nice.
The 26th is 5/12. 27th is 5/13. You said how much?
Please, baby, focus, baby. 27th, what?
5/13.
Okay, thank you.
You got that?
Yeah, I got
The
that.
28th is 5/14. The 29th is 5/15. The 30th, which is the Shabbat, is 5/16. So now instead of going to this next page on my calendar, I have to make sure I come right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the 31st of July. It's 5/17 before we move forward. Okay. Moving on to the month they refer to as August. August 1 is 5/18. The second is 5/19. The third is 5/20. The fourth is 5/21. The fifth is 5/22. The sixth, which is a Shabbat, is 5/23. The seventh is 5/24. The eighth is 5/25. The ninth is 5/26. The 10th is 5/27. 27. The 11th is 5/28. The 12th is 5/29. The 13th, which is a Shabbat, is 5/30. There's only 30 days in the fifth month. So I have here Enoch 72, 8 through 32 as that reference. Sunday, August 14th, is the first day of the sixth month. That's a new month, number 10. Blow a shofar in your new months. Y'all see what I'm saying, right? It's repetitive, but it's how we get it down. You know what I mean? 15th of August is the second of the sixth month. The 16th is the third. The 17th is the fourth. The 18th is the fifth. The 19th is the sixth. The 20th, which is the Shabbat, is the seventh of the sixth month. Got to go back to my days of high school and over-articulate. So I'm talking. All right. Sunday, August 21st, is the 8th day of the 6th month. 22nd is the 9th. The 23rd is the 10th. The 24th is the 11th. The 25th is the 12th. 26th is the 13th. 27th is the Shabbat and the 14th. The 28th is the 15th. The 29th is the 16th. The 30th is the 17th. The 31st is the 18th day of the 6th month. September 1st is 6/19, the 19th day of the 6th month. That should fall on a Thursday. Oh, let me move. Calendar, there we go. Bam, right there. Friday, 6/20 is September the 2nd. September the 3rd is going to fall on the Shabbat. That should be 6/21. Sunday, the 4th is 6/22. The 5th is 623. The 6th is 624. The 7th is 625. The 8th is 626. The 9th is 627. The 10th is 628. That's a Shabbat. The 11th is 629. The 12th is 630. And the 13th is 631. Enoch 72, 832. I find it interesting, me and Rare noticed this past year, I don't know how, but like I say, those layers come to you in stages, that the completion of our feast days, family. Remember we just read all them scriptural definitions about the number 7, to be full, to be complete, to 7, and oath. All last of our feast days fall in what month? 7th month. The completion of our feast days. Hallelujah. Go ahead. Come to the mic. Go for it.
Oh no. When I was looking at my calendar and like the numbers, it was I seen that because you know how the Messiah, he died in the middle of the week, and how Judah was the middle child. He was the 4th child. And then how when Samuel went to bless Jesse's sons, he did all 7, but David was the 8th son. So he was the king. So I was thinking of like how he ushered the kingdom in for the feast day through tabernacle on the 8th day. So I don't know. It just like, that's what he showed me when I was looking at the days.
That's interesting.
Huh?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Did y'all ever notice that? I'm like, wait a minute, this is mind blowing.
I did not notice it. No.
To be honest with you,
Like how he already established it.
yeah, that's good. We're gonna have to look into that. To be honest with you, the whole concept of what the 8th day represents is something we just started looking at the end of this past feast season. So right around trumpets and tabernacles, that's what it was. This past tabernacles, we really started looking more at the symbology of what the 8th day represents.
Yeah, because if you think about it, you got the circumcision, little boys supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day. You got after the 1,000-year reign that happened on the 7th day, then you have the new world to come. That's on the 8th day.
Yep.
So the 8th day is significant. Like, it's, so if 7 is complete,
what does 8 represent?
What does 8 represent?
8 represents
infinity, huh?
Infinity, yeah, but also a new beginning.
I'm gonna say new beginning, new start.
Yeah, renewal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So so it's that 8, 7 is wonderful. That 8.
7 is complete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But once we complete this thing, we trying to live forever in the kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm making these correlations like, okay, 8 is something special as well.
Yeah. Man, I would.
Just like we were talking about 4 being something special.
Yeah.
Right?
Midweek, yeah.
That transition, right? That gateway. Okay. So here we are in the 7th month. And at the month that is going to house all of our final feasts for the year. Okay, 7/1 falls on September 14th. That's a Wednesday.
Wow.
4th day. New month, Numbers 10:10. There's also first day of Feast of Trumpets. Leviticus 23:24. Would you mind reading that for us when you finish? Leviticus 23:24. It's also a no servile work day. See, I wrote it on my calendar here. I put the asterisks by. Sometimes I put exclamations. I don't know how y'all feel about asterisks. It's a habit. I know some people, I don't know.
You said
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th new moon, on the 1st day of the new month, you have a rest, a remembrance of Teruah, a set apart gathering. You do no servile work. You shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you'll see, here's one of those instances on my calendar. You got here, the 15th of September is 7/2. But y'all see all of this scratched out here? And all this written here? I probably should have scratched all that out too. That's where I made one of those mistakes. I completely skipped this day. I don't know how. I might have just been tired. And I wrote 7/1 here and wrote all of this out when it should have been here. So ignore all of this. Just that. Don't copy that. This is the second day of the 7th month. Feast of Trumpets is here on the first day of the 7th month. So that's the only thing that should be written here is 7/2. That's on the 15th day of September. 7/2, second day of the 7th month.
Now, is in keeping with what Akoti Gilead was saying about how they was given the law on first fruits. Feast of Trumpets, isn't a Feast of Trumpets when they blew the trumpets and the wall fell down?
Oh, you talking about for Jericho?
Jericho. I don't know. Don't quote me. I may be wrong. I don't know.
Do I have any juice left in here? Because I can't remember that offhand.
I can't remember either. Do y'all remember? I want to say I heard that, but I could be wrong. Because I know they were setting up for a feast when during that time. I just don't know what feast there was. So if y'all know.
I'm gonna see if I can look at it.
Okay.
Let's see. I think we were looking into that one year.
Yeah.
To see.
I can't remember.
I don't know what we
came up with.
I don't remember us being able to confirm it for sure. I think that was our theory. We were like, I wonder if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I'll be honest with you, sometimes that's how we study.
Yeah.
Sometimes like we look at stuff and we think we see something, and then the way we both actually came to the truth is not prove it. Like I think I see something, but not prove it scriptural.
Just check. See, I'm like,
okay, give me one second. Yes, ma'am. Akoti Celeste. Ignore that. I wrote it twice on accident. So it should only be a no servile work on the first day of the 7th month. That's on the 14th. Rick, can you explain servile work versus regular work real quick?
So servile work means work for money. So like, no job, you can't work your job, you can't work anything you don't get paid off, anything you don't profit off of. However, because it is a feast day, y'all does allow us to cook and, clean the house and stuff. And you may have to go out in the yard and pick your greens for that day, whatever have you. So cooking and stuff is allowed. Okay. It's why he says no servile work versus no work at all. Nothing, like on a Shabbat. I don't know, but I didn't mean to take you off.
No, that's okay. I decided to look up the one Coach Joy posted as well. Yeah. So no, we couldn't, and I remember what happened. That was something we thought we saw, but we could not confirm that scripture.
I want to say I read later on about the specific feast that was going on, but another thing about the Feast of Trumpets stuff, we know, now this is a theory, the Messiah comes back heralded by a trumpet.
Okay.
We know he fulfilled the first 3 feasts when he was here. We know he comes back to fulfill the next ones. So just keep that in mind too.
Okay. So, Coach, go ahead.
I was, under the understanding that it's also supposed to be in remembrance. So when he does come back, we know what the sound of the trumpets are.
Absolutely.
Came. Yeah.
Absolutely.
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 How would you know what the trumpet sounds like if you don't know the law of the trumpet? So
The law of the trumpet.
So the law of the trumpet is all through Leviticus 10. I'm sorry, Numbers 10.
Yeah. So there's an actual,
when to blow a trumpet and how to blow the trumpet in each occasion. And then you've got several scriptures that point to what the trumpet sounds like, and then what the voice of the Melachim sound like, and the heavenly host sound like. And they parallel those with trumpet blasts as well. So you are 100% right about that.
The law of the trumpets, I think, is something we really should be learning, because he tell the children of Israel, when you hear the several short bursts, meaning this means something. And when you hear the long blast, this means something else. So, as a people, we would have known, we would have understood what them different, what those different shofar blasts meant. So that's something else I think we should, like, we have a shofar, and the children, like our son, he blow the shofar, he blow in the Shabbat every seventh day, and my young son blow in prayer time every morning, and my Israel's supposed to blow in the new months, which I told us to do.
He forgets sometimes.
But he forgets sometimes. But those different trumpet blasts mean different things, and I think us as people, we really should reinstitute. Yeah.
Now here's the thing, though. This is all just to help our understanding, because scripturally, when you read Numbers, it specifies that it is the Levites who are supposed to blow those trumpets.
That's true.
Okay. So I just want to just completely honest with y'all so that you understand what it says. And that's Torah. So you can't change Torah. But what we do it for is so that we can get in practice of hearing it, like you said, Akoti Antoinette, Akoti Joy, Akoti Gilead. So I think that kind of like, okay, I'll say this. I cannot confirm nor deny, as they say. I can't confirm or deny from a quick search anyway. I'm going to have to look more into that, because what I'm reading here is that it is traditionally taught by rabbis that the law was given by Yah to Moses at the feast, the first fruits. That is traditionally taught. But I need to confirm that scripturally. So I'm gonna look into that, though. I'm glad you brought it up. I will look into that. Yes.
I was thinking, I was saying, just think you at home and say you sit down and all of a sudden you hear, you hear it 4 times. Some people wouldn't know what that is. They hear them hear that 4 times. They wouldn't know. With me, that means get your go bag, get your stuff. I would start getting my stuff together, like, it's about to go down.
Yeah. And that's why I say it's important, because like different blasts, like some blasts mean prepare.
Okay. Some
blasts mean head on out.
Okay.
Some blasts mean be on the lookout. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
this particular one, as it relates to prophecy now, not going back to first fruits. Akoti, Todaf is still looking. If you have it, check Jubilee. If it's anywhere, I believe it might be in Jubilees. I don't have time while we live to actually try to find it, because that might confirm it. So as far as prophecy though, this is one that heralds in the return. So before the actual return of Messiah, it's heralded, just like in any of the cartoons you watched or anything like that. Before the king came, the 2 squires, whatever, blew those trumpets. We got a study on that as well. Check that out. That's the Feast of Trumpets. Yeah, check that out as well. Okay, so Akoti Gilead, when you find it, just shout out and let us know.
Okay.
going back to this calendar, we are on the 15th. 15th is 7/2. 7th month, 2nd day. About to mess up, about to mess up.
About to mess up the church's money.
Yeah, we don't. Okay. The 3rd day of the 7th month falls on the 16th. The 4th day of the 7th month falls on the 17th. That's the Shabbat. The 18th is the 5th. The 19th is the 6th. The 7th, the 20th, I apologize, is the 7th. The 21st is the 8th. Okay. The 22nd is the 9th. Sundown begins atonement. Atonement begins at sundown. The reference for that is Leviticus 23:32. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 32. The 23rd is the Day of Atonement. That is 17. That's the 10th day of the 7th month. Atonement then ends at sundown. Yeah. So your no sober hour goes from the 9th at sundown to the 10th at sundown. Or if you're looking at their calendar, from the 22nd at sundown, you need to be off work and at least heading home, if not already home, by sundown on the 22nd to sundown the 23rd. So on the 23rd, I got Leviticus 23. So 23, 27 through 32.
Wait.
On the 23rd. So look, I'm sorry. Leviticus 23:32. Go.
Okay, Leviticus 23:32. I sure.
Or you can read 27 through 32. That's what I have written.
Okay. Okay, and Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, on the 10th day of the 7th new moon is Yom Kippur. It shall be a set apart gathering for you. And you shall afflict your beings and shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. And you do no work at the same day, for it is Yom Kippur, to make atonement for you before Yahuwah, your Elohim. For any being who is not afflicted on the same day, he shall be cut off from his people. And any being who does any work on that same day, that being I shall destroy from the midst of the people. You do no work, a law forever, throughout your generations, in all your dwellings. It is a Sabbath of rest to you, and you shall afflict your beings. On the 9th day of the new moon at evening, from evening to evening, you observe your Sabbath.
Okay, hallelujah. And so on this one, which is a day of covering, right? A day of covering, to cover you in your repentance from your sins, to cover us in our repentance from our sins, but also to cover us in a day of some things that may be going on among the people who are not observing this day in a future time, right? So there's a study on that as well. I don't want to use this to deal with each of the feast days individually because we got separate videos on each one of them individually. But if you want to dig more into that, we shared our study on that as well. No servile work.
No, this one said no work.
No work. I apologize.
No work.
That's what Indigo was just asking. I'm going to change that on my calendar.
And she can get back.
It's my opinion. No work, not no servile work. So the difference being, family, it don't mean you can't bathe, y'all.
Yeah.
It don't mean you can't bathe. It don't mean you can't wipe yourself when you go to the restroom. But you shouldn't be cooking. You shouldn't be cleaning.
Yeah.
So if you got everything cleaned up before sundown on the 9th, then you shouldn't have to worry about getting anything messy or dirty on the 10th, because that day should be a day of reflection. That day should be a solemn day of reflection and introspect, right? So we take that time to look inwardly, and you're going to fast. So, Like I
No.
say, we got to study on that. So, you know,
Fast. No food, no internet, no social media, no movies. It's a fast. You purge, you affliction. Because
go to your scriptures,
Yeah.
go to your prayer closet. You know, how you want to look at that. And ask God to deal with us. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, you know how I told you how my dad is. He said no water, no nothing. My dad said no water, no nothing.
Yeah. If that's how you want to do it, that's how you do it. And I ain't got no stones in my pocket.
Yeah.
So, but here's one. I will share this. One of the things that we found in our study. That's that afflicting of oneself, to include the fasting, would include us turning our what do you call it when you targeting someone else?
Yeah.
I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
Baby, find me the scripture when Abiyah says, this is how you should fast.
That's Isaiah.
So
So you're gonna turn your focus, is what I'm looking for. You're gonna turn your focus away from what someone else is not doing or what someone else is doing wrong, right? And turn that inwardly to address what I'm not doing or what I should be doing. So the essence is, instead of browbeating someone else, and I'm using that term just because we all understand what that is, you're gonna browbeat yourself, right? It's the time that you actually look at yourself. And I'm not saying it's the only time you should, but it's the time that you make sure you understand how to introspectively look at yourself. Isaiah 58, I will. Riv's got a reference on how to fast, but this is also a reference on how to keep Shabbat. Two birds, one stone.
So Abiyah was saying that he wasn't satisfied with the bruised fast.
Yep.
And he was telling them, Isaiah 58, what verse? Okay, I'm gonna read Isaiah 58. It says, "Cry out loud, do not spare." Okay.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Lift up your voice like the shofar. Declare to my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yet they seek me by day and delight to know my ways. As a nation, they did righteousness and did not forsake the right ruling of their Elohim. They ask me right rulings of righteousness. They delight in drawing near to Elohim. They say, why have we fasted and you have not seen? Why have we afflicted our beings and you took no note? Look in the day of your fasting. You find pleasure and drive on all your laborers. Look, you fast for strife and contention and to strike with the fist of wrongness. You do not fast as you do this day to make your voice heard on high. It is a fast that I have chosen.
No. That's the key right there.
A day for a man to afflict.
I apologize. Because it doesn't say it is. And that's the key.
Is it? Oh, right.
That's what he said. He said, what you're doing, you're saying, why aren't you paying attention to me? I'm fasting, ain't I?
Right.
I'm afflicting myself, ain't I?
I'm doing it.
I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And he said, is that what I told you? What you're doing? Is that what I told you to do? That's not what I told you to do. Here's what I'm telling you to do. And that's the and I promise y'all, I saw it that way too. And I had to read it several times. I'm like, no, that's not the way that's worded.
Yes. So he says, is it a fast that I have chosen?
Mm-hmm.
A day for a man to afflict his being?
Mm-hmm.
Is it to bow down his head like a burl rush and to spread out sackcloth and ashes?
Mm-hmm.
Do you call this a fast
Mm-hmm.
and an acceptable day to Yahuwah?
Right.
Is this not the fast that I have chosen?
So here's two different verses, two different sentiments. He says, is this a fast that I've chosen? No. right? The very next verse, he's now going to explain what he did prescribe. So he says, is this not the fast that I have chosen? And then that semicolon is letting you know, now I'm going to illustrate to you what I prefer and how it contrasts with what you've been doing.
Mm-hmm. To loosen the tight cords of wrongness, to undo the bands of the yoke, to exempt the oppressed, and to break off every yoke. Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and that you bring to your house the poor who are cast out? When you see the naked and cover him, and not hide yourself from your own flesh, then your light will break forth like the morning, your healing spring forth speedily, and your righteousness shall go before you. Hallelujah. The esteem of Yahuwah would be your rear guard. Hallelujah. So like when we first read that, we had just like watched, some Jewish people do this fast, and they had the sackcloth spread out and the hymns, and they was throwing ashes, and they had, it was crazy, right? But Abiyah is asking us to take the food you would have eaten, and this is the second witness of this right here.
But not for atonement.
Right, in the book of the Shepherd of Hamas. Yeah. It's the second witness. And what we did was we made we made lunches and food and stuff for the homeless.
But not for atonement. Not for atonement. Nobody's supposed to eat on atonement. That wasn't atonement when we did that.
Right. But I'm saying fast, he said, but take the food that you would have eaten and give it to the hungry. You know what I'm saying? And so, we went out and we handed out food to the homeless, to the hungry. And we didn't take pictures of it either, fam. You can't be out there handing food to the hungry and the homeless taking pictures of it, because I don't accept that either. And I mean, who are you doing it for? You know what I mean? Are you doing it for like hearts and likes on YouTube and Facebook, or are you doing it, you know what I'm saying? So what he's saying is, I want you to be active, you know what I'm saying? To be active when it comes out to your people, to put forth, you know what I'm saying, good work. Bruce, we always, you know what I'm saying, we do things for show, and I ain't interested in our show. You know what I'm saying? That's why Messiah come back to Matthew and talking about, look, man, don't be walking around here ashy on the fast day. You know what I'm saying? You all ashy so that everybody can look at you and say, ooh, what's the matter with you? Well, I'm fasting. And your fast is mute. I don't want it, because you fasting for man. You got your reward when all them people say, oh, you fasting? Oh, that's good. He fasting. There go your reward. You know what I'm saying? Messiah said, put some oil on your head. You know what I'm saying? Put some lotion on them ashy knees. Don't be down here looking all, pitiful. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is for show. So that's what Abiyah tell us. He tell us to fast in the heart, to do a pure fast, to be giving, to be loving, to put in goodwill when it comes out to our people, to not hide our face from our people. We got to find a way to give back to our people. We got to find a way to help them, because that's how they're going to come out of the darkness that they're in. That's how they're going to come into the light. Our work. Y'all blessing us to wake up and to find this truth. And we got to find a way to help them. You know what I'm saying? To give them the bread. And sometimes ain't even food. Just knowing about Abiyah, that's bread. You know what I'm saying? We got to find a way to feed our people, to pay it forward. So that's what he's saying here. Pay it forward. You know what I mean? And Shlomo disappeared. And I don't know where he get. And he know I'm shy. So now they froze up. I done froze up. So anyway, any questions, anyone? Everybody. Where'd you go, brother?
I had one question.
Go for it.
Go for it, go.
So Neil, you know how he say for us to do Day of Atonement from sunset to from sundown to sundown. Those that only do the Sabbath from sunset to sundown, don't that make them see like the Sabbath's supposed to be from evening to evening. I'm not sure. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Because some people only say like, no, the Sabbath is only on the Sabbath that day, and they don't do it from evening to evening. But if we're supposed to do Day of Atonement, He's giving us the day. So how do they? Am I making sense?
100%.
Cozy, the reason was crazy. This how y'all work though. This is how y'all work. This what you just said have come up like this. What you said the fourth, fifth time within the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Just come to go and speak on it, bro. You're gonna have to speak on it.
Over the last actually it's come up over the last week several times. And so I agree. I thought so. So we actually did a study on when a day begins. If you guys have seen that, and we really addressed all the aspects of it. You know what I mean? From the difference between daytime and a day's cycle. We dealt with it from Genesis. We dealt with it from Torah, from the feast days. We dealt with atonement. And to your point about atonement. Here's what it is, and I know. Look, we fellowship with some people who keep Shabbats from sunrise, not from sunset, and we associate with some. So I don't want to offend. I just want to clarify our position. So here's what they believe about atonement specifically. They believe that atonement, when we read this in Leviticus 23, it's being highlighted because it's different, because it's the one that is not the same as the others. I don't believe that. I believe that it's being highlighted because it's the standard, right? And so just like I'm saying, you know, to test your calendar, you can go and find this day of this month should fall on a Shabbat. And you're not going to see that with every Shabbat, but some Shabbats you'll see, okay, the second month, 23rd day, that should fall on the Sabbath. Okay. Twilight, the 14th should fall sundown Tuesday. So you're going to see bits and pieces, and it's going to help you stamp, okay, that should fall there, that should fall there. And so I believe the same thing about atonement. I think that he gave it to us to show us an example that Shabbats are sundown to sundown. Now, that's not my only reason for keeping Shabbats from sundown to sundown. You want to know the rest of our reasons for keeping Shabbat from sundown to sundown? We got a whole video on that. But I'll give you this. Because these they're not in the video, but we were just kind of talking about it, and these also came up. In the Genesis account, you read, then came even, and then came morning, day 1, day 2, day 3, so on and so forth. If I was to say I'm patterning the way I'm keeping the Shabbat the same way Yah kept the Shabbat, since he's the one that instituted it, since he's the one that gave it to us for an inheritance, let's look at, I'm going to Lebanese for it. Let's look at Genesis 1 real quick. I really didn't want to, I didn't intend to bring this up here, but let's look at 2 quick things. So go to Genesis 1, and let's look at, okay, since it's been recorded, I'm going to start at 1. I'm going to start at 3. It says, let light come to be, and light came to be. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. Elohim separated the light from the darkness.
I think it's important to point out that darkness came first.
Okay, sure. It did. There's no getting around it. So I'm saying we went over all that. So I'm trying not to be redundant, but yeah. So it says 1:1, y'all. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth, and the earth came to be formless and empty, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the spirit of Elohim was moving on the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let light come to be, and light came to be. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good, and Elohim separated the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. and there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, day one. So that's going to start our pattern, right? He created, there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, and what I just created was day one. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Okay. I created, then there came to be evening, then there came to be morning, and what I just created, notice I'm pointing behind myself. What I just created, what I just told you about was day one. Okay. Now let's get to the end of this creating. And my question is, when did the Most High finish his creating? When did he stop work?
Sixth day.
Okay. And at what point during the sixth day? Was it before the evening? Right? Because I'm trying to pattern my work pattern after him.
Right.
So if he was creating on the sixth day after sunset, then I can keep working on the sixth day after sunset too. Okay, so let's see. So he says he created I'm in Genesis 1. Let's start with, for argument's sake, let's start at 26. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heaven, over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over all the creeping creatures that creep on the ground. And Elohim created the man in his image, and the image of Elohim created him. He created him. Male and female, he created them. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said to them, be fruitful and increase, and fill the earth, subdue it, rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over all the creeping creatures of the earth. And Elohim said, verse 29, see, I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed to you, it is for food. Verse 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to every creeping creature on the earth in which there is a living being, every green plant is for food. And it came to be so. So, God did all of his creating. After he finished creating, he then continued with giving instructions for mankind as to what he intended for them to do going forward, to subdue, to plant, what to eat, all that. Even his instructions were being completed during this sixth day, correct? So my question again is, so when did he complete his work? Was it before the sundown or after the sundown? Let's confirm. Verse 31. And Elohim saw all that he had made. So now I'm looking back again and I see everything that I've made. It's past tense. He saw everything that he made, past tense. And he said, and see, it was very good. And then what happens next? And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the sixth day. So even the Most High Yah gives us this pattern right in the beginning, in the very first chapter of the very first book, that the work was completed before sunset on the sixth day. Right? So that's what I see, right? Now, here's another layer of due diligence that we can do, right? We can go to, we'll go to the KJV with the Apocrypha again. So I'm clicking right here, KJV plus, and let's go back to there came to be evening and there came to be morning, day one. So let's go there. Let's go to Genesis 1, verse, which one? Verse 8. Torah. All right, so let's look at these definitions real quick. Let's look at the Hebrew words. No. Yes. I want there came to be evening and there came to be morning. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah. And the evening and the morning were the second day. So let's look at this word morning here. You guys familiar with that term, boker? Boker means good morning. It's Hebrew. So that word boker is the word for morning. Let's look at it. Let me move y'all around here real quick. Excuse me for reaching over you here. All right. So this is the word boker. It means morning. Very specifically, it says from H1239, properly dawn. So this word means the break of day. That's sunrise, right? That's sunrise. Generally morning, day, early morning. From H1239, that's what I like right there. See how that popped up when I scrolled over it? Primitive root, properly to plow, to break forth. Sunrise, to break forth. That is figuratively to inspect, to admire, to care for, to consider, to inquire, to search out, to seek out. That's speaking of daytime, if that makes sense, right? So now let's look at another word. Let's look at this word here in that same verse that says day. Then there came to be evening, that's a measure of time, right? There came to be morning, that's a measure of time, right? 12 hours in the evening, 12 hours in the day time or the morning time. And then here's this word here, which is day. So let's look at that. You guys know we were just talking about Yom Kippur, right? Yom Kippur. Yom means day. It's a day of covering. So Kippur doesn't actually mean atonement. It means cover. It can be related to atonement, but the literal translation is to cover, right? So Yom is day. Let's read the definition for day. From an unused root meaning to be hot, a day as warm hours, whether literally from sunrise to sunset or from one sunset to the next. Now we're dealing with a 24-hour cycle, right? From one sunset to the next, or figuratively, a space of time defined as associated term, often used adverbially, age, always, chronicles, continually, okay? I'm gonna give y'all one more reference here. Let me give you one more reference. Give me 1 second. Let me open up my Firefox. You guys familiar with the Blue Letter Bible? This is one that I hadn't been using often, but recently I started using it a little bit more frequently. So in the Blue Letter Bible, I'm showing you how to get there. This is how we use the Blue Letter Bible. I'm gonna have to go up here and type what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna go Genesis 1:8. That's my scriptural reference, right? Now, when I get to Genesis 1:8, which is here, I'm gonna go to Tools and see where it says interlinear. Now I can look at the Hebrew breakdown of each one of those words, right? So here, we're going to parse out each one of those. But we already looked at morning, so now we want to look at day. Oh, was that 8? 8. I'm just looking for day. It's here. It's fine. So here's day, right? So I'm going to click on this for day. Here's the Strong's 3117. And it says, yo, again. Day, time, year, a day as opposed to night. Well, that was Boker. Day, 24-hour period. Here we go, as defined by evening and morning in Genesis 1. Now that's what we just read. So I'm not saying that as my opinion. I'm saying this definition confirms the same thing we just read, right? So look, here's the question. If we go to the commandments, right? Let's go back to our Esau again. You guys know where the commandments are? Exodus 20, right? So let's go to Exodus 20, and let's look at the actual commandment that says, remember the Sabbath and keep it set apart. No, yeah, remember the Sabbath and keep it set apart. That is here, Exodus 20, verse 8. Now, before we look at it, my question to you is, and here's where I would have to say, show me scripturally, right? Because we all trying to get back to the truth, right? So if this says, remember the Sabbath Boker in Hebrew, then it will be talking about sunrise, saying that you're supposed to set apart this time from sunrise going forward. But if it says, remember the Sabbath Yom, That's a 24-hour period as described as from evening to evening per Genesis 1. That's the scriptural definition. If we look at what the Hebrew word says. So let's look and see what it says. It says, remember, Zakar, as in Zechariah means to remember. Then it says Sabbath, we know what that is, Shabbat. Day, Yom, boom, that's it. Zakar, Shabbat, Yom. It does not say Zakar, Shabbat, Boker. If it said Zakar, Shabbat, Boker in Hebrew, it will be talking about sunrise. So because it says Yom, that lets me know that from the evening of the 6th, so when the sun's going down on the 6th day, just like what's my man's name? Shading on the gates.
Nehemiah.
Just like Nehemiah said, when the sun is going down on the 6th day, we need to sound an alarm, blow a shofar to shut it down. Everything going forward needs to be pertaining to the Shabbat, right? And then on the Shabbat, as the sun is going down, you know that that's the end of your Shabbat. Now, I'll give you one more reference on that, just because we're talking about it. And again, honestly, fam, my intention here is not to offend, okay? But I just want you to think about something. We read that in the law of clean and unclean in Leviticus, if you have relations with your spouse, you're unclean. Ritually, you're supposed to bathe yourself and you'll be unclean until the evening. I just want you to think about this. You'll be unclean until the evening. So the question will be, why does the evening then cause you to be clean? Well, it's not the evening. What it is that's a new cycle beginning. So you've cleansed yourself and now you're unclean until the beginning of a new cycle, right? If we go with this concept that the evening doesn't count in this 24-hour cycle, that 12-hour period of evening and that 12-hour period of daytime are not one whole unit of a day. If we go with that concept, then what you'll be telling me is that if me and my Isha know each other biblically, on the evening of the 6th day, right? So Friday evening, we relating with each other biblically. I'm supposed to be unclean if I wash until evening. Of when?
Right.
Of when? Now I'm ceremonially unclean for the Shabbat. There is no time for me to wash and then wait for an evening to be clean. That lets me know then that this evening prior to the Shabbat day time has to be included in this cycle.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because I have to have time. It's not a sin to be unclean in that aspect. It just is unclean. And therefore, if I was to attend an assembly or a gathering, I would be going into that assembly or gathering unclean, which means the 5th day is the day that I would have to look at. Thursday evening or Thursday daytime. I don't know. You know, you're in your relationship. Daytime might be when it works. But you have time at that point to bathe and to cleanse yourself. See the priest scripturally in Torah and be unclean until the evening, thereby making you clean sundown Friday, right? And then you don't do that anymore because now you're in that Shabbat protocol.
And look, let me tell you, I'll be honest with y'all. Yah has punished us for that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? For having relations.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And one of the things as you grow in this walk, you'll learn to notice when you're being punished by the Father versus when you being blessed, when He's happy with you. You can feel when He's happy with you and when He's punishing you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, according to that doctrine that says the Shabbat don't begin to sunrise, that give you, if that's the truth, then so many people listening to that saying that the Shabbat is only sunrise to the evening on Saturday, which means you can do whatever the hell you want to Friday night. Let me tell y'all something now.
Or even if you're saying sunrise Saturday to sunrise Sunday, either way.
Yeah. Friday night, look, Abiyah has punished us for getting fresh on Friday night. Let me tell you something. My husband was out there working. When he was driving across, sometimes he was gone from like Sunday to Friday.
Yeah, come in on Friday.
And we ain't seen each other. So what do?
Keep cleaning.
We have some relations. And Abiyah has punished us. You hear me? We being punished because we know scripturally you ain't supposed to have relations. On the spot. You can't. Abiyah said this is the one day it's supposed to be for me. You can't hold it off for one day.
And so, and I just want to reemphasize the point of what I'm saying, not just to talk about have relations just because, but the point of what I'm saying is if Friday night don't count, and according to the law, you have to wash yourself, to cleanse yourself, and you're clean until that following evening. That's all I'm saying is if Friday night don't count, then you're saying that you can do that. And I'm saying, well, what is the point? You can get yourself back clean for the ceremonial practice of fellowshipping on a Shabbat. When do you then, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't see that.
And so now you amongst the people, the congregation, with your relationship juice on you.
Right.
You ain't clean.
That's still. We got a question.
I'm just saying, but think about it.
Okay.
Think about it.
Go ahead, Coach.
I'm new to this. So you can't bathe after the sun goes down?
That's not what I'm saying.
That ain't what relationships mean, Coach.
That's not what I'm saying.
Relationships.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, can you bathe after
Absolutely.
evening?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just.
God.
Yeah, no. Let me be 100% clear. I apologize if I wasn't. All we're talking about is even if you bathe,
Right.
according to the law, you're still spiritually unclean until the next evening. Spiritually, we're not talking about physically. Yes, by all means, bathe, wash your sheets, do what you got to do.
We have some of the. I take some of my best baths on Shabbat. That's peaceful. I ain't got nothing fooling me. But there are some sects, some Jewish people. I've read some Jewish.
It just is what it is. I'm just being honest.
They believe bathing is work and shall not be done on the Shabbat. Wiping themselves after.
We're not going to do this, y'all. We're not going here.
You know what I'm saying?
We're not going
and
here.
So that's
speaking of being unclean.
Right. That's madness. That's somebody causing Abiyah's law to be frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? And you got many demonic spirits out there, and that's their job to cause you not to want to keep the law. You know what I'm saying? Right.
All right. Let's push on through this here. Okay. So we are dealing with
sundown atonement.
Excuse me, you got atonement. So September 24th is the 11th day of the 7th month. September 25th is the 12th. The 26th is the 13th. The 27th is the 14th. That is September 28th is the 15th. That is day 1 of Tabernacles. That's the first day of Sukkot.
Day 4.
And it's on the 4th day. It's on the 4th day. It ends on what we refer to as a Wednesday. What happened? You got it? You good?
No.
What happened?
I skipped the day by mistake.
You skipped the day?
I did the whole next month.
Ouch. Ouch. How about she skipped the whole month on accident? Ouch. I apologize. There we go, September. There we go. Okay, so that is the first day of Sukkot right here. Day 1, Tabernacles. No servile work. No servile work.
You want a party sticker?
Leviticus 23, 34 through 36. I don't have room on Yeah. Thank you for all.
It is okay.
So Leviticus what?
Leviticus 23, verses 34 through 36.
Okay. Okay.
We got it?
Yeah, I got you.
Sure.
Gotcha. Sorry about that, bro.
No, you're good.
Put the stickers
I know you're right.
Strap.
Oh, putting stickers.
You said Leviticus 23.
34 through 36.
Okay. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel, saying, on the 15th day of this seventh new moon is the festival of Sukkot for you, for 7 days to Yahuwah. On the first day is a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. For 7 days you bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. On the 8th day there shall be a set-apart gathering for you. You shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. It is a closing festival. You do no servile work. These are the appointed times.
Hallelujah. So you're going to see this tabernacle is going to mirror unleavened bread, right? So first day, no servile work. You're right there on that 4th day of the week. 8th day is going to be following week, and it's going to fall right where it falls. We'll see that in a second. So Sukkot day 2 is going to be Sukkot Tabernacles. September 29th, 716. The 30th is the 17th. That's day 3 of Sukkot. So I'm writing those here with exclamation points. It's a joyous occasion. Tabernacling with the family, prophetically tabernacling Yahweh with Yahusha Hamashiach. And we're now into the month of October. Okay, so in the month of October, the prefix OCT signifying the number 8, we actually are going to enter the 8th month before the month of 8 day labeled October is out. So Saturday is Shabbat. October 1st is 7/18. It's the 4th day of Sukkot. The 2nd is the 19th, day 5 of Sukkot. The 3rd is the 20th, day 6 of Sukkot. The 4th is the 21st, day 7, and the end of Sukkot, right? So from sundown the 4th to sundown the 5th, or from 7:21 sundown to 7:22 sundown is a no servile work day. No servile work. So again, that no servile work in that instance, because we understand that, you're going to be packing your bags on the way home and all of that, but it's a closing festival. Leviticus 23:36 is the one that signifies that or confirms that. 23:36 says, for 7 days you bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. On the 8th day, there shall be a set-apart gathering for you, and you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. It is a closing festival. So that's literally what we do, y'all. Like, so if we Sukkot with each other, that's the day that everybody breaking down their tents. But we feast. We cook a big meal, and we sending everybody off. Everybody is loving on each other. We'll see y'all next time we see y'all. It is a festival. But we also breaking down the tents, packing up stuff, and get ready to go home. Yeah, close the festival. Literally.
That's another feast day that you're supposed to come to Jerusalem. You're supposed to do that one together.
Okay. Thursday, the 6th of October, is 7:23. The 7th is the 24th. The 8th is a Shabbat. It is the 25th. 7/25. 7th month, 25th day. The 9th is the 26th. The 10th is the 27th. The 11th is the 28th. The 12th is the 29th. The 30th is the last day of the 7th month. Falls on the 13th day of October. Enoch 72, 8 through 32. 8/1, which is here. New month. Falls on the 14th of October. Numbers 10:10, blow shofar in your new months. The 15th is a Shabbat. That's the 2nd of the 8th month. 8-3 is the 8th. It's the 16th of October. The 17th is the 4th. The 18th is the 5th. The 19th is the 6th. The 20th is the 7th. The 21st is the 8th. The 22nd is the 29th. I'm sorry, thank you. Did I say 28th for the one?
29. No.
Okay. The 22nd is the 8th. Torah
22nd is the 9th.
is the 9th. Torah. The 23rd is the 10th. The 24th is the 11th. And I'm looking at it, it's still saying it wrong. The 25th is the 12th. 26th is the 13th. The 27th is the 14th. The 28th is the 15th. The 29th is the Shabbat. And it's the 16th. The 30th is 8/17. The 31st is 8/18. November. We're just going to go through December, fam. It's going to be up to you to number January, February, March of your 2023 calendar. But we will go through December. But remember, numbering all the way to the 364th day is going to help you really see clearly from year to year what's the same and what's changing. Okay? November 1st is 8/19. It's on a Tuesday. November 2nd is the 20th. November 3rd is the 21st. November 4th is the 22nd. November 8th is the 23rd. No, November 5th is the 23rd. It's 8/23. The 6th is the 24th. The 7th is the 25th. The 8th is the 26th. The 9th is the 27th. The 10th is the 28th. The 11th is the 29th. The 12th is the 30th day of the month. It's a Shabbat. Enoch 72, 8 through 32. 30 days in the 8th month. Remember, 3, 6, 9, and 12. Which way are we facing? 3, 6, 9, 12. Those are the months that you have 31 days. The 13th is on a Sunday, 9/1, first day of the 9th month. New month, numbers 10:10. Blow shofar in the beginning of your months. The 14th is the 2nd, which is okay. The 15th is the 3rd, the 16th is the 4th, the 17th is the 5th, the 18th is the 6th, the 19th is the 7th, the 20th is a Sunday, is the 8th, first day of the week. The 21st is the 9th, the 22nd is the 10th, the 23rd is the 11th, the 24th is the 12th, the 25th is the 13th, the 26th is a Shabbat or a Sabbath, is the 14th. The 27th is the 15th. The 28th is the 16th day of the 9th month. December. You did it again?
I wrote 10 twice.
Oh. You'll get it. It's okay. December 1st falls on a Thursday. It is the 19th day of the 9th month. The 2nd is the 20th. The 3rd is the Shabbat. It's 9/21, 21st day of the 9th month. The 4th is the 22nd. The 5th is the 23rd. The 6th is the 24th. The 7th is the 25th. The 8th is the 26th. The 9th is the 27th. The 10th is the Shabbat. Again, that's the 28th day of the 9th month. The 11th is the 29th day of the 9th month. The 12th is the 30th. The 13th is the 31st day of the 9th month. Enoch 72, 8 through 32. 31 days in the 9th month. The 14th is the first day of the 10th month. It's a new month. Blow a shofar in your new months. Again, here we go. We're in the 10th month. DEC, that prefix, December, means 10.
Mhm.
And here's the beginning of the 10th month within that month.
That's crazy.
The mind games that they play.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yep, they expect us never to find out. So it's lined up with the Hebrew calendar. Hebrew calendar says the 10th month.
Yeah.
And they calendar says the 10th month.
Yeah.
But they gonna put what they
12.
12.
They tell you it's 12 month. even though it says DEC for 10.
Mm-hmm.
The 15th is the second, the 16th is the third, the 17th is the Shabbat, that's the fourth day of the 10th month. The 18th is the fifth, the 19th is the sixth, the 20th is the 7th, the 21st is the 8th, the 22nd is the 9th, the 23rd is the 10th, the 24th is the 11th, that's the Shabbat, 11th day of the 10th month. The 25th is the 12th. The 25th is the 12th day of the 10th month. That's the first day of the week. 26th is the 13th. 27th of December is the 14th day of the 10th month. The 28th is the 15th day of the 10th month. The 29th is the 16th day of the 10th month. The 30th is the 17th. The 31st is the 18th day of the 10th month. That's it, family. That's January through December. Any questions on that? Yes. Any questions on that?
So, Christine, did you have a question? Yeah, I see your hand is up. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how to let it down.
Okay.
It's okay. So once it's up, it's up. Okay, so here's what I was referring to, right? Qumran scrolls. Oh, let's do this first and foremost. Hallelujah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to share my screen again. Give me a second. Here's the other thing I wanted to point out. So, in the Dead Sea Scrolls, can you give them a, just in case anybody watching don't know, a brief breakdown of what the Dead Sea Scrolls are, how they came to be found, and all that, while I can pull up what I need.
Okay. So the Dead Sea Scrolls were found by two little Muslim boys playing outside in a cave in the hills of is it Qumran?
Yes, Qumran, that's correct.
And they were throwing rocks at each other. Threw a rock. One of the rocks went into the cave. They heard something shatter. This is the story of how it's found. They heard something shatter. They ran up to the cave and they found a bunch of scrolls in an ancient vase or vessel, which is what they shattered. Okay, so the best biblical rabbis and whatnot, and all these folks sat down for years to put together the scrolls so they could read what the scrolls said. Now, we have some theories on how the scrolls got there, and of course they have their theories. But we read in Maccabees.
Oh no. Okay. Keep going, we're good.
Are they still here? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. We read in Maccabees where it was during that time of Antiochus Epiphanes, whatever.
Antiochus Epiphanes.
Antiochus Epiphanes.
Antiochus Epiphanes.
That guy.
That's the title also.
It was during his time that the Levites pretty much broke off in two. And so one group of Levites, the Zadokites, they took the scrolls and they took all the treasured pieces out the temple and they ran with it. They ran to the hills. Okay. The other group of Levites decided to stay and protect the temple. So they were more of a warrior group, I guess. I don't know. That was Maccabee's father, which was, what's his name? Matthias, his son Maccabee, and their brothers. And so they decided to stay and fight, to fight the Greeks. It was the Greeks?
Yes, it was the Greeks. So we're dealing with the Hellenistic period,
okay,
which is just not too long before Messiah came on the scene or was born. And the Greeks were invading Jerusalem. I'm seriously freezing up here.
This was also the time that the Brews had put the Edomites under the ban and forced them to convert to becoming Brews. Okay. So our theory is that the Zadokites, when they ran, this was one of the hiding places where they hid some of the scrolls.
No, we can back up the fact that they fled with scripture, because the book of Daniel talks about the prophecy of the man of sin.
Yeah.
And he says clearly, when you see the abomination of desolation that lays waste, flee to the hills.
That's what's like.
Oh,
Daniel said
it's quoted from that.
Oh.
Yeah. The abomination of desolation is a quote from Daniel.
Well, yeah, the abomination that lays waste. Yeah, but Messiah was the one that told them to flee. But this would have happened before the Messiah time, which lets you know that it happens again, and it does in 70 AD. Same thing happens. He tell them, when you see the camps surrounding Jerusalem, flee to the hills. And the Zadokites did it before the birth of Messiah. But you know, ain't nothing new under the sun. Everything we do has already been done. So, okay, so the theory, well, you know, not that they fled, but that this is some of the scrolls that they found. Now, conveniently, right, there's a lot of missing pieces of the scrolls.
Yes.
So this is so convenient, y'all, because when you read it, the missing pieces be something like, and then Abba Yahuwah shined on the children with their beautiful missing pieces skin. It'd be like that. It'd be missing pieces, like it's conveniently missing. You know what I'm saying? But according to them, some of the pieces got lost. Some of the pieces was damaged beyond repair. But these scrolls do confirm. We haven't found as of yet anything in them, and we haven't read through the whole thing, so I'll prereference it with that. But so far, we haven't found anything that conflict or says anything different than the Standard 66.
However, and I will apologize in advance, it don't look like it's going to happen today. This is what we're going to have to do, because my computer is completely freezing up on me, which means I can't share the two things I wanted to share with you on the computer, which is so we said all that to say this. The Zadokites, who were the keepers of the scroll during the time of the Maccabean era. Although there were a faction of the priesthood that went out and fought to fend off the Greeks, the Zadokites were the ones who were keeping the scrolls, the Torah, the prophecies, the writings of Dawid, the prophets and all that. And they were those who would take them and transcribe them and make more copies of them and things like that, and reason over them. They also kept track, ever since the days of David, of the heavenly watches. David assigned certain families to keep track. We can read that in Chronicles. We can read that, is it in Samuel as well? Maybe not in Samuel. Maybe I'll have to verify that. But I know we can read it in Chronicles, that David assigns certain families of the priesthood to keep track of the sunrise, the sunset, the new moons and the full moons. And they keep track in cycles. So this family will come keep watch for a certain time, then that family will come in and rotate them out, and then that family will come in and rotate them out. And so the Zadokites continued with not only keeping the records that had been kept up to that point, but continuing to keep those records. And so within the Qumran scrolls is what I'm saying. I said all that to say this. There is a record of a 6-year period of calendar keeping.
Yep.
That if we're correct in what we think we see about when this calendar starts, should mirror what they have.
Yep.
The first day of the year, the Sabbaths, the feast days, they have them all marked. It should be mirrored. So I'm just being honest with you. what we have at this point was 3 or 4 years of work up to this point before we came across the Qumran scrolls, right? And then we came across the Qumran scrolls, and it simply verified. Like
it was like
if it was different, I would have went back to the drawing board, but it verified. And then we found another thing within those. So I'm going to show you both, and I apologize, fam, but we're gonna have to end it here, because, like I said, my computer's freezing up, so I can't share it with you. But if you will bear with us, oh wow, is it free up? No, it's still freezing. If you bear with us, we'll come back one more Shabbat, and we'll just focus on the correlation between what we think we have here and what's written in the Qumran scrolls, and we'll just deal with that. And then what we'll do is, since that should be pretty quick, we'll do a Q&A if you guys want.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Does that sound good
So
to you
get
guys?
your questions ready.
Okay, hallelujah. I cannot unshare my screen. That's how bad I'm freezing up. But if you guys have questions now, feel free, because we can still hear you and you can still hear us. But I'm gonna have to like unplug my computer and force it to shut down.
But how you gonna get this recorded?
I think it's still safe.
You sure?
No, but what choice do I have?
Okay. All right.
Any questions? I can only see 4 of you, so if somebody's got their hand up, just come on to the mic.
I see 2 people in the chat. Can somebody read those checks in? We can't.
Oh, there you
yes,
go.
we can. Oh, Shabbat Shalom family. That's what I want to say.
It-
Okay.
It freed it up, just to close it out.
Okay. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna close out with that, family. If you guys don't have any comments or questions, if you got comments, feel free as well. And again, I'm gonna save all of this, edit it up a little bit, and post it on YouTube. And if you're watching later on YouTube and you got comments, comment in the comment section. Just be respectful. We try to be respectful as well. And I'll answer or respond to or look at. If you got something you want us to look at, I will look at it. We all still learn it.
There we are.
Disrespectful, I might be disrespectful back.
He probably will.
I don't want to be, but I might. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. So don't be disrespectful, and we'll keep it shalom. All right, fam. We love y'all.
Love y'all.
We're gonna go get a little something to eat inside, grab a little bit, and keep studying.
Have a beautiful rest of y'all Shabbat family.
Shalom.
That's
All right, y'all.
It's sunset here.
Oh, is
For
it?
like the last,
Okay.
yeah, for like the last hour.
Oh, really?
You East Coast, right?
Yeah, y'all 2 hours ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got about 2
Yeah.
hours left.
We got about 2 hours.
So we got the rest of the children inside the house, and they looking at some stuff. They looking at some documentaries. So we're gonna go chime in with them and see what they thinking up in there.
They watching television if y'all want to watch it. If y'all want, it's on YouTube.
Come home with
It's
me.
called Town.
Where people look like each other, they don't care, man, they fight each other. Over bright G colors, Crips and Bloods, yo, they smite each other. Over flags, they don't like each other. Come on home with me. Where people get shot every day, blood spill on the block where they stay, on the block where they play, double dutch and hopscotch down the way. Hebrews, you make it hot every day. Come on home with me. On every block there's a church. People search for the truth and it hurts. The same day to go to the liquor store, get drunk and it's worse. They slump, no idea that we curse.